3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kazmi 107.1 FM and across the world at renews.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Office of Special Prosecutor ramps up charges against former NPA Chief Executive Mustapha Hamid and 9 others from 25 to 54. Also coming up, Ghana Water Company Limited demands stronger action as galamsey cleanup cost runs into millions of Ghana cedis. And much later, with Parliament scheduled to resume sitting from recess on Tuesday, October 21, we will explore the business the House will undertake before rising for the Christmas break. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. The Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has filed fresh charges against the former Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, Dr. Mustapha Hamid, and 9 others. The amended charge sheet increases the total number of count from 25 to 54. Dr. Hamid and his co-accused are facing multiple charges, including extortion, abuse of public office, and money laundering involving sums amounting to some 291 million plus now and some 332,000 plus US dollars. The OSP says that the accused persons allegedly extorted hundreds of millions of cedis and foreign currency from bulk oil transporters and oil marketing companies under the pretext of performing official duties. The case was called in court on Monday, October 20. That's today. But proceedings were adjourned due to the unavailability of the presiding judge. The accused persons are expected to reappear on the 13th of November. Let's get exactly what transpired in court today. Lord Edwasori is our man monitoring events for us. He joins us live on the phone. Lord, if you can tell us how things transpired in court.
Right, Beatrice. So, indeed, Mustapha Hamid and then the other accused persons, they turn up in court today expecting the Office of the Special Prosecutor to, as it were, communicate to the court on the amended charge sheet. But the court told them that the case had an agenda, and this was because there was no judge to preside on the matter, as it were. Now, the substantive judge for that court, Criminal Court 3, is Mami Ekuye Yanzu. Now, she has been elevated to the Court of Appeal, and so as it stands, the Criminal Court 3 is vacant, as in there's no substantive judge who will preside over matters in the interim until another High Court judge is assigned that court. And so that was the reason why their case did not come off. The case has been adjourned to November 13, but every time we're hopeful that we will know the judge who will take over that court and then will preside over the case, Beatrice.
What more can you tell us aside from the time the case will be called again, which I believe is the 13th of November?
Indeed. So what we're expecting the Special Prosecutor to do today was to, first of all, withdraw the charges which were before the court, the 25, and then put before the court the new charges which contained 29 in addition to the previous 25, bringing the total to 54. But because this has not happened, they had to basically leave and then wait for the next agenda to see how things will pan out. Now, for the new charges, if you go through them, Beatrice, there are a lot more counts of money laundering in addition to what the OSP previously filed before the court. And this, the OSP indicated, was because of new evidence that it had come across. And that was why this came across. We actually saw Mustapha Hamid. We tried to engage him to get his thoughts, but he did not speak to any of us, I mean the journalists. He left right after the case was done. And so we'll be back the next agenda November 13, and we'll see how things will pan out from there, Beatrice.
Indeed, it means that you saw him. Can you tell us his demeanor?
Oh, he looked like a happy man, really. He did not seem like anybody who had something on his shoulder, a chip on his shoulder, for want of a better word. He was in high spirits, was communicating with his lawyers and some other NPP, leading NPP members, good communication, working in front of the court towards his car. He engaged them in a hearty manner. So things are looking okay with him. We'll see how things will pan out, looking at the day when they keep on unfolding.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Lord Adwasare. He's our court affairs correspondent, bringing us the latest from the court. And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7 now. A new survey conducted by Dr. Evans Dua suggests that Kennedy Ohene Japan has tightened his grip on the New Patriotic Party's presidential race, polling some 44.1% of delegate support in a worst-case scenario and 53.8% in a best-case scenario. The research further places 24 NPP presidential candidates, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in second position with between 32.2 and 39.5%, while Dr. Brane Champon trails in third with between 6.3 and 8.3%. Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum and Kwabena Ejie-Japon follow with modest support of 3.2% and 0.9%. According to the survey, the former Assin Central lawmaker could lead in as many as 11 regions across the country. Let's hear from Dr. Kusi, who explains the basis of these findings.
Any candidate that can cross the 50+1, then it is Honorable Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, and we are looking at the 53.8%. Then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia actually drops because most of the people who voted for him maybe in 2023 most of them are in the undecided and undisclosed, and they are really looking at where they will stand. Dr. Brane Champon gains from 6.28 to 8.27. Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum gains from 3.19% to 4.39. And Kwabena Ejie-Japon moves from the 0.83, because he was doing 0.34 in August. He's moved to 0.86, and in the best case scenario can move to 1.33. Now, these are how it is looking like for all of them. So we are looking at the worst case scenario being like the baseline, and then the best case scenario being like the ceiling. So what it means is that currently the potential of Honorable Kennedy Ejapon now is he doing a minimum of 44% going into the primaries and a maximum of 53% going into the primaries as such September. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is currently doing a minimum of 32% and doing a maximum of 39%. Dr. Brane Champon is doing a minimum of 6.28% and a maximum of 8.27%. Yao Osei-Duchum is doing a minimum of 3.19% and a maximum of 4.39%. And Engineer Kwabena Ejie-Japon doing a 0.86% and a maximum of 1.33%.
And you heard Dr. Evans Dua. He just conducted that survey saying that Kennedy Ejapon is leading in terms of delegates vote, and behind him is the 2024 presidential candidate of the MPP, who was also the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's hear from my colleague, Noble Crosby-Annan, who's got some more details for us. And actually, Crosby joins us live on the phone. Crosby, what more can you tell us?
Beatrice, so this is a survey he conducted according to the period he mentioned between September and October, adding up to the findings from August. And the findings is what he has made known to us, and he's insisting that, I mean, this is just up until a particular point, a particular period. It is not in any way to predict the outcome of the elections. And what he's telling us that the research went through every scientific project process. It is empirical enough. It is trustworthy, and he was not influenced by any of the parties, contrary to some concerns people have that because of the fact that he once contested as a parliamentary candidate in one of the constituencies on the ticket of the NPP, he may be working in favor of one of the candidates. But what the doctor is telling us that he did this out of interest so that he will be able to decide. So this is not coming on the back of any influence from any of the parties. Says the parties involved, the candidates involved should take it and then strategize based on where they are falling short to know what they want to do with the result.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby. And bringing us update of the latest survey putting Kennedy Ohine Japan ahead of the race in that MPP's presidential primary expected to be held in January 2026. Some 12 minutes past the hour of 12. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us.
Hello, Ghana. It's a new year, and Bills Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bills offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bills is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. We stay with the opposition MPP because eyes remain fixed on the New Patriotic Party's January 31 primary to elect a new flag bearer. Now, while that race has picked up considerable heat, another race of equal importance is picking up steam. The race for who becomes General Secretary of the opposition NPP has drawn out increasing names, with former members of Parliament vying for a seat at the decision-making table of the largest opposition party in the country. The latest is former Ablekuma West MP Ursula Owusu-Ekuful, who has, as of today, declared her intention to contest the position. This brings to 5 the number of people who have declared a willingness to contest. Let me run you through that list in terms of the General Secretary race. We have Ursula Owusu-Ekuful, former Ablekuma West MP and Communications Minister; Justin Frimpong Kodia, incumbent General Secretary; Eugene Boache Entry, former Subing MP; Sylvester Tete, former English Yamanfro MP and Deputy Minister for Information; and Henry Kwabena Kokufu, who is a former EPA boss and a former MP for Bantsma. And so there you have it, the 5 individuals who have publicly come out to express their interest when it comes to the General Secretary race for the opposition New Patriotic Party. Now, most first-year students are reporting to school today following the official reopening of senior high schools across the country. Over 500,000 students who were successfully placed by the Computerized School Placement Secretariat are beginning the new academic year, which officially commenced over the weekend. Reports reaching us indicate that long queues at several campuses are seen as the first students go through the registration process and settle into the new schools. Let's now touch base with our correspondent who's got some updates from the schools for us. Noura Mohammed joins us live now. Noura, if you can tell us which part of Accra you've been to and what the situation is like there. Hi, Noura, we can hear you.
Hi, yes.
Yes, tell us which schools you've been to in Accra and the situation there.
Yes, so we're currently at Labon Senior High School, and at the moment we can see scores of parents and their wards still trooping in. Some have been here since 8 a.m. and they formed very long queues, and they're going through the registration process. And the students, we've spoken to some of them are excited to start school, albeit the process being quite frustrating to some others who have stayed in the queues for very long hours. But then at Laboni, it seems to be not too chaotic. We have some people complaining here and there, but then most of them have told us that they've had a smooth process so thus far.
What can you tell us about how school authorities are managing the situation in places where really the queues have been that long?
Yes, so we can see here at the school, the authorities are around. They have several centers and stations where the registration is taking place. They have segregated, so this is a mixed school, so they've segregated the students according to their gender. So the females at a particular side, the males at another side. And you can see the authorities there. They are doing their work. They are taking the students through the registration process. And some others are helping with directions and helping resolve some confusions. We also marched up to the headmistress's office, and she granted us her audience. She told us we're allowed to, speak to some of the students and their parents. So it's I think they're doing their work with due diligence so far.
Thank you very much, Noura Mohammed. She's our reporter monitoring the reopening of schools and students returning to their various schools. And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Let's bring you some more on the education front. And the Ministry of Education is taking steps to review Ghana's computerized school placement system. The move, according to the Minister, Haruna Idrisu, is to make the process more transparent, fair and efficient. The announcement was made during a surprise visit to the Presbyterian Boys Senior High School Presec at Legon in Accra.
Your finest tunes.
You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Now, the Ghana Water Company is reporting a significant improvement in water service turbidity, but riverbeds remain heavily silted. Managing Director of the company, Adam Mutawakilu, who disclosed this at a news conference, is emphasizing the need to sustain the silting operations to prevent a total breakdown of water treatment. George Quaining is following this issue. He joins us live on the phone. George, what more can you tell us?
Thank you so much, Beatrice, for having me. I'm coming to you live from the head office of the Ghana Water Company Limited. So the MD, Adam Mutawakilu, just finished addressing the media. And there was concerns that were raised, the fact that people think it's only about galamsey activities that are impacting negatively on the operations. But there's the issue of construction, farming activities, and sand winning. So there's some sort of improvement in its surface stability. That's the quality of the water. But in their riverbed, it's heavily silted. So the company is saying they are requiring the assistance of the corporate Ghana to help them, because government, of course, is doing its part, and they're seeing some sort of improvement. So at this juncture, they require some 300 million cedis to desilt more than 70 treatment plants that have been affected. And these treatment plants have been silted. So they need to dredge this very plants, and then they require this money. So corporate Ghana should be a part of this. So basically, this is what the MD said. So corporate Ghana should come to assist them in this regard.
Thank you very much, George Quaining. Let's listen to what Mr. Mutawakilu said.
This action are using encouraging signs. In some of our rivers, you can see the turbidity dropping consistently over the period. We have observed significant improvement in surface turbidity, but let it be clear, the riverbeds remain heavily silted. Without sustained desilting operations, our pumps will continue to struggle to deliver quality water. So because of this siltation, even if the surface water is good, our pumps are submersible pumps. They are buried in the silt. So in an attempt to pump water, you see that we carry the sled and making it difficult for us to operate. Our commitment, what is our commitment as Ghana Water? With your support, Ghana Water will recover lost capacity as priority plants, reduce treatment losses and chemical dosage, lower specific energy and unit costs, and stabilize service to households, schools, health facilities, and businesses. We will report progress transparently so every partner can see how their contribution translates into fewer shutdowns.
And you had the Managing Director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Mr. Mutawakilu, there addressing journalists on the turbidity level of water bodies and what needs to be done to ensure that the country keeps improving the situation to avoid a total shutdown of treating water for Ghanaians. Now, members of parliament will reconvene tomorrow from recess to deliberate on key national matters, including bills, motions, and policy statements from government, ministries, and agencies. The upcoming meeting will be the final for this year and is expected to feature debate on the presentation of the 2026 budget. Christian Yale is our parliamentary correspondent who is monitoring events for us. He'll be joining us very shortly on what issues we need to look out for, even as members of the House reconvene ahead of the Christmas festivities and, of course, that Christmas break. Let's speak to Christian Yale now. He joins us live on the phone. Chris, indeed, the final meeting or gathering of the House before another recess for the Christmas festivities. How are things looking like?
Yeah, Beatrice, so currently when you get to the premises of Parliament, there are some minor works that are ongoing in preparation against tomorrow. But obviously, we know that the corridors here are going to swing fully back to action. Most of the offices that have been shut for almost 2 months since they've been on recess are going to open. What we know is that the key items, among many others, would be the 2026 budget, which has been one of the conversations in the background even up till now. You know that earlier the Speaker postponed the sitting date from somewhere last 2 weeks to today. And when you listen keenly, those are some of the conversations we're having in the background. Also, we know that in the last sitting before they went on recess, there were some bills as well as some legislative instruments that did not mature. And so once they resume tomorrow, the counting to the date or the date for the maturity of those instruments would begin tomorrow, and then they would be reintroduced into the House for possible adoption. And one of such LIs includes the LI 2462, mining in forest reserves, which many anticipate government to repeal entirely to demonstrate its fight against illegal mining. And also, we expect the swearing in of 2 new MPs, including Professor Ali Duseidu Mahama for Tamale Central and also Bernard Bediako for Akwetia. So these are some of the key items that are expected to be dealt with.
Thank you very much. Christian Yale, he's a parliamentary correspondent now as part of efforts to create an enabling environment to maintain stability and fight disinformation and misinformation. The European Union ambassador to Ghana paid a working visit to Media General to explore new areas of collaboration between the two institutions. He applauded Media General for its fair, balanced reportage of issues.
Media General is a particular player in the Ghana media landscape due to its different platforms and outlet types, also due to its reach, and not least due to its quality of journalism. I think the various BBC prizes that journalists of Media General have received over the past couple of years speaks for themselves. We're trying to be a less traditional development cooperation organization and a much more of a strategic partnering. But it's clear that in the media landscape here in Ghana now, where issues that we're looking at is, firstly, it's investigative journalism. Secondly, it's about information manipulation. That is a real challenge, I think, in many countries, also in Ghana. And finally, it's about producing news in local languages in order to increase the outreach.
And he had that, the European Union ambassador to Ghana, Skinny Batch. And that will be it for the Midday News on 3FM and 92.7. Actually, before we go, let's listen to the Group CEO of Media General, Madam Beatrice Adu, responding to that.
What we seek to do is to help to be the mouthpiece of a lot of organizations like yours. I know that you have focused generally on promoting good governance issues. Last year was an election year for us, and we partnered a lot of institutions, including the CDD, which I know you partner with to look at a lot of issues on good governance.
And you had the Group CEO of Media General, Madam Beatrice Adu. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News today on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Coming up shortly is Business Daily. Michael Obodu is standing by.